Hey everyone, it's John here, and in this video we're going to take a look at how we can generate a normal distribution, or a bell curve as it's also known, in Excel. So we're going to do this using the rand_array function, which is a dynamic array function that's available in Microsoft 365. So let's get started. So the first thing we're going to do is create a uniform distribution, and to do that we're going to use the rand_array function. And then we're just going to generate a large number of random numbers. So we're going to use 10,000 numbers. So this rand_array function is going to generate 10,000 rows of random numbers. Now we only want to return one column of numbers, and we want to go from 0 to 1. So our random numbers are going to potentially be as low as 0 or as high as 1. And then we want these not to be integers, but we want them to be decimal values. So you can see that that's gone and generated a whole lot of values, in fact 10,000 of them, and all those values are between 0 and 1. The other thing about this is that all these values are uniformly distributed, so that means that each value between 0 and 1 is equally likely to happen, and we can actually test that out by creating a histogram graph of all these values. So if we go to the Insert tab and create a histogram out of those, then what we're going to see is a uniform distribution. And I'm just going to right click and format the chart area, and I'm just going to adjust the horizontal axis a little bit. So let's change the settings here, and let's use, instead of 22 bins, so instead of breaking up our 0 to 1 range into 22 equal lengths, we're going to have 10 equal lengths. And then you can see that each of those bins gets approximately 1,000 numbers in it. So in this list of random numbers, about 1,000 of them will be between 0 and 0.1, which is the first bin here. There will be about 1,000 between 0.1 and 0.2, which is the next bin here, and so on and so on. So this is a uniform distribution. How do we get a normal distribution based off of this? So the answer is there is a function in Excel that's going to do that for us. So it's going to convert our uniform distribution into a normal distribution for us. And that function is NORM.INV. Now there is a slight variation on that, NORM.S.INV. And that just allows you to create a standard normal, whereas NORM.INV allows you to create any type of normal distribution. So you have a mean and a standard deviation as your inputs. So the first argument here in this is going to be our list of uniformly generated random numbers. So I'm going to reference that entire range. So I'm going to do that by selecting the first cell here and then using the pound operator to reference the entire dynamic array of values. The next input is the mean, and that's just going to be an input here, 0 right now. And then standard deviation is our last input. And now that also generates 10,000 values, but this time they will be normally distributed. So we can check that out again by, going up to the Insert tab. Let's create a histogram. And it's taken all or both of those columns, which is not what we want. Let's just adjust that. And you can already see a normally distributed bell curve here. So again, let's just change the axis options. And instead of automatic, let's change that to something like 50. And there is our standard normal distribution, or bell curve. And this is randomly generated. So every time you press F9, these numbers are going to recalculate. So let's try that out. F9, and you can see our bell curve adjusts. It's still a curve, still bell-shaped. And one thing to note, we do need a pretty large number here to get this nice looking bell curve. So if you use a lower number, so let's try 1000, it's not going to look as nice. So that's a bit less of a curve, and even more so when it's low, like 100. So that does not look at all like a bell curve. And let's go back to our original 10,000. So there you have it. That's how you can generate a normal distribution or a bell curve in Excel using two functions. So we used the rand array function, which is a dynamic array, and allowed us to generate a large list of random numbers that are uniformly distributed. And then we used those as an input to the norm.inverse function to convert that into a normal distribution. That's it for this video. If you enjoyed this video, make sure you hit the thumbs up button and subscribe to the channel for future Excel videos like this one. That's it for this video. See you in the next one.